the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
He is so good at maneuvering around the pocket, and something that immediately reminds you of the difference between like just upside versus him and Joe is not size. It's just, and this is not a shot at Joe. I think it's just, it's almost instinctual where I don't think he has this, where Nico is so good at feeling pressure and maneuvering and just keeping calm about it, where it's pretty amazing to see how he is able to dance around the pocket and make it all look very easy. Like, I'm very pleased to see something like that. And I get that it's UConn, but he's just so natural maneuvering around the pocket and throwing on the run. And I made the joke about Big Bryce Young. I really do think that was something I jotted down. I'm just like, that's all we've seen from Bryce Young the last 2 years at Alabama. The difference is he can sit in the pocket where Bryce can't, because he's 6'6", 6'7", where he doesn't have to go outside the pocket to make throws to see down the field. He can sit in the pocket or he can dice you up on the run. I just think the Swiss Army knife approach of how Nico is going to have an opportunity to feast on teams over the next 2 years, Tennessee's quarterback, really stood out to me, because I just think he is going to be such a pain to deal with, because even if you think you've got him, you don't, because I think he is so natural and so good running and so good at just not avoiding hits. Like, there's nothing negative I can really say about what we saw from Nico. I think it was everything you wanted to see as a player. And then the cool touchdown to McAllen Castles with the fake and then go forward, and that concept was just cool, because we haven't seen that from a quarterback this year.
Agree to that, pocket presence and kind of having the feel for it is largely something you have or you don't have. I think you can teach it a little bit and you can get a little bit better at it. I mean, Joe Milton's kind of an example of that this year. I think we've seen him get a little bit better at it as the years progresses, but it's largely something you just have or you don't. And as good as Hendon Hooker was, like, that was something that he had a great feel for pocket presence, a great feel for where the pass rush was, but he was not going to get out of the pocket and make throws down the field. He was going to get out of a 5-yard loss and turn it into, sometimes when he had nowhere, he would turn it into, get back to the line of scrimmage. And then sometimes, like the play against Florida last year, he turns it into a 50-yard run. So he had a great ability to limit negative plays and make something out of it. But I think the big plays was largely capped, because he was largely going to have to do it with his legs, whereas Nico seems to be very comfortable getting out of the pocket and throwing the ball down the field and throwing the ball off platform. So I'd agree. We said that way back early in the season when we seen him a few times, that we felt confident. The one thing we did think he was better at than Joe Milton was he has better pocket presence and a better feel for that stuff. And you saw that again. You saw that to a greater degree in the Tennessee was 3 or 4 on third downs when he was in the game. The one they didn't convert was a 3rd and 7 run that I think they were probably going to go for it if they got a little bit closer, but it only got a yard, so they punted it. The other 2, he scrambles up the middle for 25 yards, jumps out of safety, and then the other 2, he rolls right and throws to McCullen Castles on the sideline, and then he rolls right and throws to Caleb Webb on the sideline for first down. So those were all really impressive plays. And then another, I like the tall Bryce Young comparison. The other one that I'll give a little bit is Jaden Daniels. Just watching that LSU game last night, just the skill set's a little bit different there, but the tall, really skinny, fast quarterbacks who have big arms and are pretty accurate, but also you're kind of surprised by just how fast they are when they break through the line of scrimmage up the middle, scrambling, was something that kind of stood out to me watching LSU Alabama last night.
Yeah. And I don't think he's going to take the same kind of hits that Jaden Daniels takes. Jaden Daniels invites some crazy contact all year, and what we've seen the last couple of years. And I just don't think that's going to be Nico. I think Nico is running to evade and just get to the sticks and get to where he needs to go, and then just carry on. I don't think he has any interest of getting blown up and being that kind of runner. He's not going to be lowering his shoulder like Joe Milton and Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be running with a purpose and running with a reason to get out. And he's huge. So I think getting to the sticks will be a little bit easier for him, because he's just a big dude. And he's also he is a natural runner, where Joe Milton is still just not natural in that zone. He's just more of a pocket passer. And I think what you'll see from Nico is kind of a blend between him and Hendon and Joe, where it's Hendon, I think, was first mobile, and then we evolved in the Heupel offense to kind of become that pocket guy. I think you're seeing a middle ground here with Nico, and just the best case possible. And why he's a 5-star is like he can beat you in a multitude of ways, and with his size, his feet, his pocket awareness, everything. It's just, I can't wait for Nico. We have an opportunity, Ryan Schumpert, here at Everything School HQ. Tennessee basketball finishing first in the SEC. Making a deep potential March run, we'll see. Deepest team they've ever had under Barnes. Tennessee baseball, which Tony Vitello just doesn't take a weekend off. He's just always recruiting. He's just like, I'm just going to continue being the Nick Saban of SEC baseball year.